It is June 14th, 2016. This is the Watchman News, and I'm Mike Callahan. We are back for another episode of No Holds Barred with Kathy Rubio. Tonight we have some absolutely amazing guests, and let me go ahead and get Kathy brought into here. I do.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm out here trying to fish everybody in the last minute.
Alrighty.
And remind them, Jeanette Finicum can't come on. She's broken down in her car.
Yikes.
And I haven't heard from Larry, but I know that he knows because he sent me a note this morning.
Okay.
Okay, and this says adjust my speaker. Okay. This right. Does that sound better?
It sounded fine before.
Hello?
Yeah, you're fine. Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello? Anybody there? Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can't hear nothing. They just went after my speakers, so hang on. I gotta see if I can get them back. It's on an automatic adjustment. It should be doing its own thing here.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
You want it up or down?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Now you should be able to hear me.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Okay, I could hear you the whole time.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, that's because, it was only...
They just came in just like that, and they took the whole thing, and a little window comes up and says... Now I got an echo.
That should go away. Yeah, the echo should go away because it's got a system to where it cancels itself.
Okay. We'll just keep going and see what happens.
You gotta love it.
Oh, I know. If you don't love it, you go crazy. I'm still hearing. Oh, I know why I'm hearing me. There. That's off. Is that better? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, at the same time, I'm getting in messages about Obama today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's been trying my patience all day. This guy, God has got to intervene here pretty soon. If he don't, I might have to do it.
Huh. I hear you.
I listened to him open his mouth in that speech today, and just one lie after the other lie after the other lie. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, and we caught him on another speech he was given for some women's organization.
I wonder if that's the last one they just sent me, where he got mad.
Oh, I didn't know he got mad. No, that would be...
Oh, yeah, he got pretty mad in one speech he was doing. I don't know where that was at. And so then he was berating the American people.
Ooh.
And because we're going to blame this on Islam. Well, isn't that who took the they said they did it.
Well, yeah, we're kind of questioning that, though.
Well, obviously they didn't do it. Nobody did this. They said this is a drill. Oh, I think the best thing they ever did in this whole thing was that they put out a $25,000 reward last night for those who can prove this was a drill and that this was a false flag.
Really?
And a video came out just a little while ago, which I believe I sent to you, and he has proved it. Hope he gets his 25,000.
Let's see.
I don't know what that. I wonder who put the 25,000 up. That's what I haven't been able to find out.
Was it the video after that video that you say the guy proved it?
Which video?
Orlando shooting crisis actors busted?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, see, I questioned that first night because there just seemed to be an awful little amount of blood for somebody that was just shot in the leg.
Well, there wasn't any blood. You could tell that wasn't blood. I mean, I've worked in the ambulance field long enough. That was not blood.
Oh, yeah.
In any way, shape, or form.
You know what? You would be the one to ask on that, and I didn't even think. From your experience, you would have been the one to ask. Like I said, I didn't even think. I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I sent you a picture on Facebook, and I'd asked you if it was true.
I haven't been on Facebook.
Let me, I can just tell you, it's just like a little meme thing. I'll pull it up and I'll ask you, because I didn't know if it was true or not, and you're the one to ask on this. Okay, so the meme, this is what it says. It's comparing Honduras to the United States, I think. Wait, hang on a minute. To Switzerland, I'm sorry. Honduras to Switzerland. Supposedly, both have a population of roughly 8.2 million people.
Nope.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, it says Honduras bans citizens from owning guns.
Nope.
Okay, see, from talking to you...
Next.
Okay, and then it says that Honduras has the highest homicide rate in the entire world.
That's true.
Okay.
It used to be second, but it hit first. Even just over the weekend, I think they hit 26 homicides.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's gotten really bad, but it got bad because of us. Because I don't know why Obama really likes sending people back to Honduras. He deports back there all the time, but he doesn't deport anywhere else. So what he deported back to Honduras was all the gang members. And so you get about 300 gang members a month sent back to Honduras. After 5 years, you had nothing but gang members.
Ah. See,
so you have 3 different factions of gang members in there, and they're constantly killing and fighting over turf. And
wow.
It's unbelievable. The kidnapping rate went up so high, that's why I left, because I knew I was next.
Well, and I'm one of those that I all I care about is truth. I know this is a pro-gun meme, but I didn't think that was true because you had told me yourself that you had a gun when you were there.
I carried it everywhere, slept with it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just, anyway, got the reports out of Honduras yesterday. And they are suggesting now that we might want to think about limiting who gets the guns, but that ain't going to help them, and they know it. It's America that's in there. Remember, I told you last month, Biden and Obama went in there.
Uh-huh.
They paid them several $1 million, and they said it was for them to get rid of all the corruption within the government system, including the police. And they are upending the corruption because they're not going to get that money if they don't. So they're turning in their brother, sister, and whoever to get the money.
Right. Yeah,
So somebody mentioned yesterday that they needed to regulate who gets guns and who don't. But you know what? That will never happen in Honduras because they all live in the mountains.
Right.
Population can't be much over 5 million right now.
Wow.
And that would be for the whole country. Probably 4 million of those live right around Tegucigalpa from the mountains on down on the capital.
Yeah, we've had a spirited gun control debate in the chat today.
I can control my gun. I don't have no problem with that.
I just don't get the logic. I don't think you could pump enough fluoride into me to miss the obvious.
Well, I don't know. I sure wish that Mike Emery was here, because I could ask him this question. But last night I thought to myself, how does one boy go in with one AR-15 in order to shoot all those people? He had to load that thing several times, and then one pistol.
Right.
How's that work?
Somebody did the math and came up with he would have had to approximately used 30 round clips or magazines. Sorry, I've got guys cringing again. He would have had to have used approximately 30 round magazines, and he did all that within 7 minutes.
Yeah. It's all a lie. And now this guy that I sent you the video on, he sees and he knows that there were 2 other men at least in on this. One was holding the door shut, and there was another one that was holding people back, and he was part of what was going on because he was talking to the 2. So
have you heard Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask if you had heard that they're now reporting that several of the victims could be victims of police because they were just, I guess, open firing at the...
they were firing through the walls, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
The whole walls are shut up.
Yep. And I think that...
And those guys in them bathrooms were like trapped little animals in there.
Yep. And I think that's why they're trying to change the story on what weapons were being used now.
Well, I want to see the first body. Show me that first body. Because I haven't seen that yet. And I'll tell you something else. There were no ambulances. Within 3-block radius, you didn't see an ambulance when they were carrying out these people and putting them in trucks. That, by the way, is what you do in Honduras. You throw them in the back of a pickup and you go. So are we a third world country now? Is that what this has come to? Now, there's so many questions here that they're blowing holes left and right in this, besides which it was proven this morning there was a live drill going. And the live drill involved the hospital as well. So I would suggest that if any of you nurses and doctors are listening out there, you better come forth with the truth before the people find the truth. We're getting sick of this stuff. We're getting really, really sick of these lies. And just because they're giving you money doesn't give you the right to put us all in the ground with all these lies. This is your families out here you're lying to.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. I want to see the video of old Barry getting upset.
Oh, let me see if I can pull it up. I had it. Who sent it? Now I got to remember that.
Because we watched him from the Treasury. He spoke from the Treasury today, and we watched that. And then he had also spoke at some kind of an event for women.
I think I did send it to you, actually. It has like the picture of an eagle with a hooked nose on it or something in the front.
I'm looking. Nope, don't see that one.
Okay. I might have got that right before I came on air, so...
So what, did he get mad at people rebuking his story, or...?
Yeah, somebody was questioning him.
Oh, well, how dare them do that?
Yeah, that's about right.
Gosh, I feel sorry for their their tax agent this coming year. Because everybody that's ever gone against against him has gotten nailed with tax audits.
Oh, jeez. He is so obvious about everything. Okay, I just sent it. Now, where did it go?
Well, I got
there
something.
it is. Right there at the bottom.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Was this when he was at... Okay, let me... You want me to go ahead and play it while we're waiting?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll give Larry a call while we're waiting too.
Okay.
Let me make a final point. For a while now, the main contribution of some of my friends on the other side of the aisle have made in the fight against ISIL is to criticize this administration and me for not using the phrase radical Islam. That's the key, they tell us. We can't beat ISIL unless we call them radical Islamists. What exactly would using this label accomplish? What exactly would it change? Would it make ISIL less committed to trying to kill Americans? Would it bring in more allies? Is there a military strategy that is served by this? The answer is none of the above. Calling a threat by a different name does not make it go away. This is a political distraction. Since before I was president, I've been clear about how extremist groups have perverted Islam to justify terrorism. As president, I have repeatedly called on our Muslim friends and allies at home and around the world to work with us to reject this twisted interpretation of one of the world's great religions. There's not been a moment in my 7.5 years as president where we have not been able to pursue a strategy because we didn't use the label radical Islam. Not once has an advisor of mine said, man, if we really use that phrase, we're going to turn this whole thing around. Not once. So if someone seriously thinks that we don't know who we're fighting, if there's anyone out there who thinks we're confused about who our enemies are, that would come as a surprise to the thousands of terrorists who we've taken off the battlefield. If the implication is that those of us up here and the thousands of people around the country and around the world who are working to defeat ISIL aren't taking the fight seriously, that'd come as a surprise to those who've spent these last 7.5 years dismantling Al-Qaeda and the Fatah, for example, including the men and women in uniform who put their lives at risk, the special forces that I ordered to get bin Laden and are now on the ground in Iraq and in Syria. They know full well who the enemy is. So do the intelligence and law enforcement officers who spend countless hours disrupting plots and protecting all Americans, including politicians who tweet and appear on cable news shows. They know who the nature of the enemy is. So there's no magic to the phrase radical Islam. It's a political talking point. It's not a strategy. And the reason I am careful about how I describe the threat has nothing to do with political correctness and everything to do with actually defeating extremism. Groups like ISIL and Al-Qaeda want to make this war a war between Islam and America, or between Islam and the West. They want to claim that they are the true leaders of over 1 billion Muslims around the world who reject their crazy notions. They want us to validate them by implying that they speak for those 1 billion plus people, that they speak for Islam. That's their propaganda. That's how they recruit. And if we fall into the trap of painting all Muslims with a broad brush and imply that we are at war with an entire religion, then we are doing the terrorist work for them. Up until this point, this argument about labels has mostly just been partisan rhetoric. And sadly, we've all become accustomed to that kind of partisanship, even when it involves the fight against these extremist groups. And that kind of yapping has not prevented folks across government from doing their jobs, from sacrificing, working really hard to protect the American people. But we are now seeing how dangerous this kind of mindset and this kind of thinking can be. We're starting to see where this kind of rhetoric and loose talk and sloppiness about who exactly we're fighting, where this can lead us. We now have proposals from the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States to bar all Muslims from emigrating to America. We hear language that singles out immigrants and suggests entire religious communities are complicit in violence. Where does this stop? The Orlando killer, one of the San Bernardino killers, the Fort Hood killer, they were all U.S. citizens. Are we going to start treating all Muslim Americans differently? Are we going to start subjecting them to special surveillance? We're going to start discriminating against them because of their faith? We've heard these suggestions during the course of this campaign. Do Republican officials actually agree with this? Because that's not the America we want. It doesn't reflect our democratic ideals. It won't make us more safe, it will make us less safe, fueling ISIL's notion that the West hates Muslims, making young Muslims in this country and around the world feel like no matter what they do, they're going to be under suspicion and under attack. It makes Muslim Americans feel like their government betraying. It betrays the very values America stands for. We've got
Alrighty. Still there, Kathy?
Yeah, I'm here. He just sent me a note, and I sent it back to ask him to join with the Watchman News.
I found him.
Oh, okay.
There was,
all right.
There was no space in between there. I found him.
Okay. Good. Yeah, so he was kind of ticked off in there. You don't want to say nothing about them little Islams.
Yeah, I noticed that. We had played it earlier, but like I was explaining to Memento, a lot of times when I'm doing this on this side, I don't really get to listen to what's going on because I'm too busy doing other things. And yeah, he was a little hot.
Yeah, I agree with your your comment there, Laura.
Oh.
We should call him BB from now on.
Okay, I can't add him to this call. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up on his call and then
just tell him to hang up and then call him back.
That's what I did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we'll call him BB from now on. Standing for what you wrote there.
I hear ya.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Larry. You will be amazed, but it's just you and I tonight. Jeanette Finicum is stuck in her car.
Oh.
And Carol, I think, is still out feeding cows. She knows to come on tonight, but I don't know what time. But I'm glad we got you here because we got another discussion going on guns.
Okay.
Could you imagine?
And, go ahead, ask him your questions there.
Well, I was just asking if he could imagine that we might have a little bit of debate going on about guns today.
After what happened in Orlando.
Absolutely. Well, it's a problem for the folks in our big cities. A lot of them, they just don't get it, that people have to protect themselves while they're waiting for the cops. Gun-free zones don't cut it.
No. You know, it's even going to come to a point, just like it was in Honduras, where you might have to protect yourselves from the cops.
And many other places, yes.
And many other places, yeah. So you don't give up your guns for any reason. You should be out buying 5 more and then getting 5 unregistered and burying them now. And I won't say that you said that, Larry.
Well, I've already got so many, I don't have any more room. So I couldn't do that myself.
No, I'm sure you couldn't, but that is what I've advised my kids to do because they're going to come after those that are registered, and then they'll think they got them all, or they'll hope they did.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I don't know. We were just listening to Barry's bull. And one of his speeches.
Stronger constitution than mine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting pretty bad out there. The bull is getting knee deep and rising.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know.
So what do you think is something that folks want to be doing right now?
I think that they want to be preparing and getting ready because there is also a report that came out from Dave Hodges today, and he's getting his information from several military people. I suggest y'all go take a look at that report. And he's saying that they have a plan before the convention to declare martial law. So what they're trying to do is stir us up and get us going here. On the other hand, I've been getting stuff all day long from different preppers and different people, and they're all saying the same thing. It's time to stand up. We don't have no time left. If we don't stand up, we're going to lose everything.
That's always been a tricky question to decide exactly how to handle that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that in the background they've gotten organized, but I don't see that happening myself, so I don't know. Maybe they have.
Well, my preference would be that the government gets the first move so that it's very clear who started it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I think what they pulled in Orlando was part of their first move. And they're going to blame it on Islam every single time. But in fact, it was proven this morning this was a drill. And this drill included the hospitals, the emergency areas. Everybody was included. How do they go in, Larry? Do you imagine in your mind, how do they go in and get everybody on board with lying?
It's always been a very difficult assignment. The more people involved in something like that, the more difficult people live on it.
One would think so, but they must be paying big money.
Maybe.
Somebody offered a $25,000 reward last night if anybody can prove this is a false flag. Well, a guy proved it. And I never caught it either. He caught something pretty good on those videotapes, but he showed where the Dunkin' Donuts was in retrospect to the bar. And these people, when they were carrying them to safety and trying to help them, carrying them because they were hurt, they were carrying them to the bar instead of away from the bar. I think it's going to get interesting this time.
Larry, did you hear about the statement that the United Nations put out today?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they put out a statement today. Hang on, I'm trying to pull it up now. Telling the United States that we need to have robust laws now. That we
against guns?
Yeah. Here, I'll put the link down in the chat here.
Isn't that
nice to have their help. What happened, dude?
It's in the link below in the window we're talking in.
And I'll put that link in the chat too, that way anybody can go check it out.
Now I found two articles today. One says that a military person high up says there'll be 7 more attacks in 7 cities total, and he didn't name the cities. And another one says 50 cities. So I would say that everybody, you want to get your guns loaded, get them clean, get them ready. Because if they start coming after your families, well, then you're going to have to move. And this, I think, goes against Obama. He may think that this is something that he's making himself sound like a hero over, but here's the deal. Obama brought these people in here. And he did it just for this purpose. So anybody that thinks he didn't, please go get some education somewhere. That's exactly what he brought them in here for. These guys that were coming in here, they were young men, 25, 30 years old, no families coming in with them. Ding, ding. And now we're going to see what happens here. This was not a lone thing either. They were trying to say that this boy went in there and shot. Is that possible, Larry? That one boy with a AR-15 and a handgun could shoot up all these people in 6 minutes?
Oh, we can't hear you, Larry. Are you muted? And now you're on. Well, you were, then it went away.
Oh, Larry wants to show video on this call. Oh, are you trying to show your own picture?
No, it was, well, he is. I see it, but I think he's either muted or...
Well, I think we got a long ways to go, people, because there's just a lot that we need to get done.
Ah, now
there
we're
you
here.
are.
Okay.
I can't remember what I was asking you, but...
Oh, I do.
Oh, what was it?
You were asking if it was possible for someone to be able to do that.
Oh, yes. Is it possible, Larry, for one man to take an AR-15 and a handgun and shoot all those people in 6 minutes?
Yeah, I think the 6 minutes is not that hard to believe. But the fact that people were not getting away makes me wonder if there were people. I've seen one or two reports that people were holding the exit doors from the outside.
Yeah.
So it might have been the complicity that was involved. I don't know.
So an AR-15 could shoot 103 people. And many of them, they said, were shot 3 to 6 times.
Yeah, if he came in with that many magazines and or had them pre-positioned, shouldn't be that hard. 6 minutes that's an eternity. Most gunfights last a fraction of that time.
Well, how did he get in there without nobody knowing and seeing what he was doing?
Well, I don't think he did, although I haven't seen hardly any details, which is strange in and of itself. But apparently he shot his way in, and the security guard that they had, or maybe there were two, I'm not even sure of that, engaged him briefly, and then he was in.
Well, they say it's only him that was doing it, but there's at least 2 others involved in this. That some of the eyewitnesses are saying. The one eyewitness was given a good rendition of what was going on, and the news cut him off.
Interesting. I wonder if there's any way that we can locate these people.
I don't know. I did manage to download that before they cut him off, so maybe I got his name somewhere.
Yeah,
but haven't seen any bodies, haven't seen any proof of any dead, never saw them haul one dead one out of that place. No persons, no...
Spare us the gruesome details. That
yeah, right.
Might be,
there's no corners there. There's no nothing. What there is a lot of shots fired from the outside in those bathrooms where everybody was trapped. And I believe you're going to see that some of those were bullets from the police.
well,
Because they were trapped in there like little lambs to the slaughter.
Mm-hmm. Well, it struck me that you had a bunch of liberals, because that's almost what 100% of homosexuals are. So the likelihood of them having a gun would be pretty slim.
Yeah.
Because liberals just don't pack. And certainly, and maybe a few do in Utah. I've been in the West where I even met an ACLU guy that was pro-Second Amendment. But you don't find that in most parts of the country.
No, that's for sure. I don't know. I know I'm getting real sick and tired of this stuff. Every time something happens, there's a drill involved. Every single time. So he's using these drills to accomplish what he wants to do to get the guns. And I think he's accomplishing a lot more than that, because before this thing was even done being aired live, they were already collecting money in a GoFundMe account, over $2 million just in the first day and a half. And they're still collecting. And the other thing that bothers me is they wanted blood. They said they needed blood right away. The people were coming in. They were donating blood. They even lifted the rule that 2 homosexual men could donate blood now. And now today they came out with an ad asking for blood from all of America. Well, first of all, they can't keep that blood for very long. So what are they going to do with all that blood?
Right.
I say it was an easy way for them to get our blood voluntarily and get the DNA and the address to go with it and the name.
That's a cheery thought.
Yeah, well, there's nothing cheery about Obama. And so the sooner you people out there start to realize that you are not being led by God's people, you are being led by demons. And only demons could think of this evil crap. If I sound a little angry, it's because I darn sure am. None of this had to happen. This was all a planned, orchestrated little event. Whether there are dead bodies in there or not remains to be seen.
Have you seen any reporting that claims to be based on eyewitness accounts, or a reporter that actually went there to examine the venue to see what it looks like?
No, they haven't let nobody in. At least that's what the
Just
police
seems to
said.
me like there's hardly any information forthcoming.
No, there's nothing. You didn't even get to see the inside of the place. And there's cameras all over in there. You can bet on it. There are cameras all over outside that place. You didn't see those either.
Uh-huh.
Also, something I wanted to point out, well, kind of two things. I know the news was quick to say that there was so much damage done to the club that it was likely going to be destroyed. Now, mind you, since then, I guess the owners of the club have came out and said that they plan to reopen. But the other kind of important piece of information was, oh wait, hang on, I lost it now. I'll get it back. It was big though.
I've had the same day today. Everything is going right out of my mind. I think it's the anger. I think it's the anger. I'm so sick of being lied to. I mean, is there nobody out there in that government telling the truth? Is anybody in the government getting sick to death of all these lies? Does nobody have a conscience up there? I just don't understand this.
Well, they probably are not feeling like it's a good idea to come forth. For sure, they can't count on the Republicans to protect them.
Well, if they don't come forth, they're more guilty than Obama. Just by their silence, they're guilty. Because there's going to be more of us killed out here. As long as that man remains in that office and nobody stops him, there will be more of this, because he is darn sure Islamic. And he was mad about using the word radical Islamic when he was speaking to a group today.
Well, I did write something down so I wouldn't forget it about that video that from that press conference he had today. He said that right after he claimed that they killed bin Laden, which there's a lot of questions about when bin Laden actually died, but he also said that the special forces that were involved in that raid were now back on the ground in Afghanistan, when the truth of the matter is, I believe maybe all but one are dead.
That's right.
SEAL Team 6.
A number of them died in a helicopter accident.
Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't no accident either. It was bombed. You know, this is it. He thinks we're all dumb. This is how dumb he believes we, the people, are. That we're going to believe every piece of crap he spews out of his mouth. Like we don't have a brain. Or he's hoping we don't. Anyway, how many times could Osama bin Laden die?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I brought up a kind of an interesting point earlier. During when the Supreme Court ruled on gay marriage, Facebook made it real simple and easy just to click a little button, and it would change your profile picture to have the rainbow flag over it. When the people died in Paris, France, at that nightclub, Facebook once again put a little button to make it real easy to put kind of a transparent France flag over your profile picture. It's crickets now, and I'm curious why.
Crickets?
Yeah, they're not Facebook.
Well, we know that, yeah, the owner is left-wing as he can be.
Yeah,
I don't know, Larry.
it don't make much sense.
No. But that's keeping us in that constant state of confusion. And they can only bring about the New World Order by first creating chaos. That's what they're doing. It's constant confusion. It's constant fear. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen today? Can I go here? Can I go there? What new law are they going to come up with today? It's constant. And if you don't know God, you're never going to have no peace in this whole thing. You're going to get your chaos pretty fast.
Yes, I'm into that.
And even knowing him is hard. It's very hard.
Well, it's the way to stay sane.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean that you don't want to go punch somebody's lights out, because you do. I don't know. But I do believe that we have got to stand in a way that is effective for them to understand that we are not taking any more garbage. And that's really what we came to talk to you guys all about tonight. We thought we would have Carol and Jeanette with us tonight. But we'll have to do that again another night. I'll do a special show if we have to do it to get them on. But we were going to talk about what our plans were. And we plan on July 5th of having a call-in for Justice Day. We would like to get all radio stations on board. Calling all radio stations, calling all media. I don't care if you're mainline, I don't care who you are. We're going to spend a whole day on air calling the government officials that matter in this thing in Oregon. We want our guys out of jail. Enough is enough. It really is. It's costing the taxpayers the money. We're paying to put our own people in jail. What are we, nuts?
I think we need to get a lot more information out about what has happened there, the lack of any charges. It's pretty outrageous.
Yeah, it is. I don't remember if I sent you over a copy of the PDF file we got the other night that had, I think I sent it to Tom. No, I did send it to you. It was a PDF about the charges and the ones that are being taken off, like they've taken one gun charge off on everybody. One isn't going to do the trick, but they've taken one off. And they've released, I think, 15 of them now on their own recognizance to return. But we still have the main ones left in jail. And all of this began, people, over the Hammonds. And the Hammonds are still in jail. I don't know how Mrs. Hammond's coming out, if she's lost the farm yet or not, because nobody really ever talks about her. But she doesn't have anybody helping her, so it's going to be pretty hard for her to hang on. And the BLM is just waiting like a wolf to hop on there and take it. So that's what this was started for, and then it graduated into something else. And even though some of us may think it was wrong or it was right or whatever, doesn't matter. At least they stood up and did something. We didn't.
Maybe some of the calls could be directed to like a PayPal account or something where money could be collected.
There is a PayPal account, but I think each one of them has their separate PayPal accounts that they are paying into. What we were thinking of is that we need to collect $250 so that we can get all the advertisement out that we need to, and the invites to all the different radio stations for the 15th of July, or 13th, I'm sorry, for the 13th of July. And so we thought, well, we could start here, maybe raising some funds right here. And if you guys would be willing to donate to that, then we will hire a PR company that will get this out to every radio station in America, whether that be mainline or not mainline. Just alternative, they'll all get it. And that is going to be worth its weight in gold for us to get that out there. And that will let the White House know we're really, really serious. We're done playing. And that's the only...
I hope that there's enough of a network of patriots that we could raise the money from among ourselves, just like that. The people that have been involved, that have been interested in what has happened out in Oregon, I would hope that's a fairly substantial number of people.
Yeah, I would too. You know, I had a lady that was visiting me the last couple of days, and she was from out that way, and she told me that the people have been so beaten down for so long, and with the loss of their homes, and she was one that had lost her home. Through all of this mess that's been going on for years with the BLM, that the people just kind of stand down and they just looking around like, well, maybe somebody will move one day and help us. And I tried to explain to everybody several times on here, I think that what happens when this stuff goes on is we move in different levels. You have it's kind of like a war. You have your front line moves forward, and then you have your middle line, and then you have your captains and whatever in there, and then you have your higher ups in the back. And as you lose your front line, your front line's tired, you got to move them out, you move others in. And that's where we're at now. I think that the radio people, I think that people like Larry, who's been fighting this system forever, we've been on the front lines fighting. A lot of them are getting tired, and I'm hearing it in them. It's time for the second level of people to come forward now. And everybody on this place has asked me many times, what can we do? What can we do? Well, because you don't want to give your names, they say, or they're afraid of getting too involved and getting in trouble. I just giggling because I'm probably going to go to jail, but who knows?
Hey, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
I thought of what it was. I was talking with them in the chat, and it came back to me what it was that's so massively important about this. Like you were saying, we haven't seen anything inside of this nightclub or anything like that.
No.
The last two of these shootings, the one in Orlando, the one in San Bernardino, immediately the press was let into the apartments of the individuals that allegedly did the shooting, and that we had never really seen. They've always kind of blocked that off to everybody for usually like at least 2-3 weeks, but on both those instances, they just let them go right in.
Isn't that interesting? Well, we didn't see anything in Sandy Hook either, did we?
Nope.
And we never saw no dead bodies in Sandy Hook either. Not one of those parents was allowed to see the body of their child. They were just told that they were too awful to look at. So they weren't going to let them. You know what? Nothing could have kept me from holding my child. Nothing. I wouldn't have cared if they blew him apart completely. So I never believed that story either. I'm getting a lot of feedback.
I'm going to have to go. I've got some phone calls that I've got to return.
Okay.
So I will stay tuned for the next time we get together. And
yeah, you want to leave your link for Monday night with everybody here so that I'm going to be on the Larry's show on Monday night.
As far as I'm concerned, the link, like a phone number or what?
Well, don't you have a link to your show?
Oh, it's kind of, it's on the gun owner's website.
Okay.
And it's not a live show. So once it's been broadcast on Saturday, it's available on demand within 2 or 3 days whenever the studio puts it up.
Okay. So would you mind if at the same time Mike puts it on live stream?
Oh, no, you can do what you want.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will see you on Monday, and thank you very much for coming on.
What time are you shooting for on Monday?
No, what time is your show?
Well, I recorded on Saturday, and then I recorded on Monday, a Monday, and then it's usually played the following Saturday at 5 Eastern.
Okay. Okay, so whatever time you want to on Monday, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I was trying to get hold of Tom DeWeese for an interview, and haven't been able to do that yet. So I think you had sent me a list of contacts for people in the group.
Yeah, I did.
So maybe I can get back to you, and we could figure out somebody that I could record a show with.
Sounds good. Yeah, we need to keep this out in front of everybody every single day if we can now. Just to gather in all the radio people is going to be an amazing thing. We'll have to see what we can do about getting people to help out with that so we can get them PR people hired, because that will go quicker.
Yeah, I think that might be right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me jump now, because I've got to return to calls before it gets too late back here in
All
the
right.
East.
Okay, thank you, Larry. God bless.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, so it looks like we won't get the other two ladies. I don't know what happened with Carol, because Jeanette said she called Carol and Carol said she was coming on, so I have no idea what has happened. But I'm not going to be surprised by none of it, because
Oh, I'll tell you,
anything can happen these days.
Yep. Yeah, not much
Anyway,
of it is... Oh, go ahead.
that was good information that Larry gave about the gun, because it is a possibility that could have happened. But how do you get all of that ammo in there, and how do you get that gun in there? I mean, that ammo had to weigh a lot. So did he set it down while he shot the two out front, or what? And if he shot the two indeed out front, where are those bodies? Why didn't we see them?
I don't know. It just seems like they didn't they didn't give out anything as far as anything to indicate what they claim went on.
No.
Now, I had seen somewhere there was an article that was talking about how there was a wall that was torn down.
Yeah, what they did is they rammed it.
Okay.
So it really wasn't, the whole wall wasn't torn down. There was big holes.
Okay.
They rammed it like 3 or 4 times. And then the people supposedly escaped out of them holes.
Okay. Yeah, see, and this is what gets me. And I brought this up today, too, because it just makes no sense to me. With all of our technology, we have light strobes that can knock people out. We have audio frequencies that can knock people out. And we definitely have chemicals that can knock people out. How come they're not deploying any of that type of stuff at these events?
Yeah, all they ever really had to do was bring their little white van and use their directed energy weapon that they've used on me before. Didn't have no trouble doing that, did ya?
I mean, it makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And Orlando's huge, so you know they've got that equipment there. No, it's all a lie. I know it is. I just don't understand how you get all those people to go along with this. Or is there a way that you literally can fool these people into thinking this is really taking place?
Well, I don't know. You know, and here's the thing. I really do think that there are victims in this. I really do. I've had a couple people
I think they're targeted.
You know, I've had a couple people that's said to me that they have relatives of somebody that was there that was killed, or, and these are people that would, I know I can trust.
Well, look at this. Remember when MH370 disappeared?
Mm-hmm.
And all of us got on that right away. I think YouTubers were fantastic in the research that they did. And right away they figured that the plane was taken to, I think of the name of that military base there, but that it was taken there. Well, there was a fellow, I would say about 4 months ago, sent me some videos, which got wiped from my computer, by the way. And he found that plane. He found the plane, and the plane was underwater, but it still, from the air, could get good shots of it. And the plane was really close to land. It wasn't down deep in the water. There were no bodies found on that plane, but there were people there that were looking in the plane. Not one body was in there. Where's those people?
Oh, that's a good question. That's just like, it was the lady that would have been able to tell the truth about Obama's birth certificate. Remember that? And the plane went down, and she was... Yep. There's video that she was perfectly fine. Nothing was wrong with her. But by the time she reached the shore, she was dead.
Yeah, they were holding her underwater. This guy has gotten by with so much. And we hear it, we see it, and nobody does nothing. All because of fear. And then they think they're not fearing, but they are fearing.
Yep, Roosevelt. Do you know the name of that lady by chance, Kathy?
I don't remember, no. That's been a while back. But I know that she was in the government. She was working, she had a position in the government. I think she might have been actually a judge, if I remember right.
I just put all kinds of a slew of stuff together, and I'm almost there. Oh, Loretta Fuddy.
There you are. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that plane was targeted when it went down. She didn't die. She was fine. She was hanging on and floating, and whoever was next to her made sure she didn't come out there.
Yep.
You know, and it's just a case of Obama thinking, and on all of these people that are involved in this, it ain't just him. They think we don't get it. But we do get it. And they can take all the stuff off my computer they want every day. I don't give a darn. It's still in my mind. You're not going to take it away, and you're not going to shut me up as long as I'm alive.
Here, I think here is, if I can get it in the right window. I've only got 5 million open. I was going to show them the footage. I don't know if this is going to catch the actual thing or not, but we'll see here.
Somebody's bringing up the Bermuda Triangle and all the things that have happened there. Did you know, people, that in the Bermuda Triangle, down underneath, in the triangle itself, we have a laboratory built down there. And our scientists go down there for 6 months at a time, and then they change and they send some more down. Gee, I wonder if that's part of those that died in that 225 that went on that one plane load. They're doing all kinds of things down there in that triangle. There's nothing mysterious about it. Whatever they're doing is causing them planes to come out of the air. And by the way, whoever the person was, I don't recall, who sent me the video on the name of the place being called Pulse. You did a good job. You made a good connection. Oh, it was Richie from Boston. That's who he is on YouTube. He made a good connection because planes are falling out of the air every day, small planes. They're not falling out of the air for no reason. It's called EMPs. They're being taken out of the air. They're being targeted. Always, always, when you see a plane accident, look for who's on the plane. They're after someone and they will get them. So it was interesting and non-coincidental that this place that they picked in Oregon was called Pulse. EMP Pulse, you know?
Yep. And that's kind of been my, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
That's,
everything is just...
I'm playing in the background, by the way, the video from that crash to where this lady gets out of the plane. She's hanging onto the wing. She's fine. She's hanging onto the wing of the plane.
Yep.
And by the time she goes off the camera, she dies.
Yeah.
From the time she, when they go there. I mean, they were rescued quite quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There was, I think, a fishing boat.
All dots connect. Remember, I keep teaching you all that. Everything connects. One dot connects to the other dot, to the other dot, to the other dot. Because it all comes out of the original same lies.
I want to believe that the lady on the left, where I froze it, I think that's Loretta Fuddy.
Oh, thank you, Leon. You're right. That's Diego Garcia is the base I was trying to think of. Well, they found that plane quite a ways away from Diego Garcia, but no people on it. So, where'd they go? Where'd the people go that were on the planes that didn't supposedly crash in the towers or at the Pentagon? Where's those people?
Yeah, there's been a lot of different theories about that.
Yeah. Not only that, we're in such an evil time now. It's just getting more and more and more evil. And they're getting more and more open about their evilness. They don't care that you know that they're doing rituals. They don't care that you know what kind of rituals they're doing. And they're doing the rituals more and more and more often. I've even figured out now that all these different things that are going on TV, what do they call them? The Emmy Awards and all that kind of award stuff, that's all done as rituals.
Yeah, a lot
Every
of it
last
is.
bit of it.
A lot of it is.
Yeah, so when we watch that stuff, when we pay attention to that stuff, we literally are supporting and worshiping Satan, because that's who they worship. Their Saturn god, Satan. I think we just have to quit. We just have to say no more, and we're done. That's it. Throw your hands up in the air and go for it, because something's wrong here. They're so close to taking over the United States completely.
Yeah.
It's just amazing me how close we are.
And people are cheering them on, and but I just hope that
and everybody's putting their hope in Trump. Don't do that. You're doing the same thing you did with Obama. You're putting your trust in a man.
That's the Trump
not
card,
a god.
though. Isn't that the Trump card, though?
Oh. Yeah. The Trump card says that he's going to be killed. Did you see that in the Illuminati Trump card?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. It says he will be killed.
Wow.
Now, if they are able to bring that to pass, Mr. Trump doesn't listen to us and take it a little easy here, I wonder who they'll replace him with.
Hey, I might have just got this email for us.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got an email with a request for a quotation from a wine company.
A quotation from a wine company. I'm about ready to take a drink, I'll tell you. Oh, Lord.
Telling you, it's nuts.
Yeah. I'm just getting sick of these guys believing that we're all so stupid out here we don't get the truth. That's what's making me just more angry than anything, that they think we're so stupid that we don't see.
I do think that they got the masses fooled, though.
Well, the masses better start waking up pretty soon.
Roosevelt, I really don't. I think Trump is a businessman, and I don't think he's ever lived a life that is like ours. And I think even if he wanted to be a good guy, I don't think that he's been in touch with how we live enough to even know how to help us. So when you do an interview and you act like you were living on hard times and life was rough and your dad gave you $1 million to start a business and that's all I had, and when you speak like that, you automatically, to me, you identify as somebody that doesn't understand what it is to have the $5 in your pocket to your name and to become a true self-made man. There's a stark difference between starting out with $1 million to start a corporation, enough money to be able to hire other individuals to be able to make the smart decisions to do what needs to be done in order to build a business, and then and being some guy that's in your basement putting together little electric motors or something like that. And I'm only saying that because where I come from, there used to be a company, before they moved to Mexico, there used to be a company called Yago Motors, and that started out by a man literally in his basement putting together little electric motors. So there's a big difference in that.
Memento's got some good information in here. A motion for Cliven to change judge was heard today. The judge's husband is the chief for Clark County, where Harry Reid and his son, Rory, are trying to claim Bundy's land. Well, they outright told Cliven that they're going to be charging Carol later on, upsetting Cliven, who's got no recourse in prison. I knew this was going to come. This is why I asked that the bikers would go along with everybody when they go to D.C., because I was afraid they'd do it there, but they'll probably do it before we get to D.C. Maybe that's why she didn't.
I'm laughing at what BC Truck said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
bacon for everyone.
Well, he was saying he started out with nothing and he still has most of it left.
Yeah, I know that's what they're getting ready to do, is take it from him. And I was more afraid that the ladies would show up in D.C. and they would find some reason to arrest him, because that's what they do. They're big fat chickens. Roosters don't even crow as loud as these little babies crow back there. If they had any courage, they wouldn't be going after little grannies and women and children. But, you know, if the United States people don't stand up, this is going to happen to all of us.
Well, they want that land awful bad.
Yeah, it's full of uranium. Yep. You know, I'm not sure where Larry was going with the GoFundMe account, but I do believe we have to raise some money tonight. And we have to, on this show anyway, keep on going and get as many people together as we can, as many radio stations, as many people who are serious, not trying to, they're not out there for the numbers and how many people are listening to them or none of that stuff. That you're serious about your nation, that you love God enough to stand up and do something here. And I don't mean that you have to march. I don't mean you have to do none of that. But I'll tell you what, one day of calling these people on air and making sure that we tape a lot of it and the rest of you can call from your homes, we'll blow up those servers of theirs in a day. And they will know that we're serious.
Yeah.
And you don't have to give your name. You just, when they ask you your name, just say, "We are the voice of Lavoy Finicum."
Yep.
That's all you got to say. And they will know what we're all about. They'll never be able to trace your numbers. There'll be too many people calling all at once. There's no way possible. So you don't have to fear those things. Those of you been asking, what can I do? What can I do? That's what we can do. But we just need this PR money to get us going. So if you would just kindly call into Mike and make a donation and tell him what it's for. You know, that this is for the PR money.
Yep.
Then Mike can get it to us and we can get going here. Because Larry's going to use his office. They're going to do a lot of work for us out of his office and out of Tom DeWeese's office. They're using their people. They're doing all kinds of research on lists and things now, and the Bundy family is doing research as well. And I guess the Bundy family, they got volunteers calling in from all over the place wanting to know what they can do to help, and so the Bundys put them together on research, which was wonderful. So everything that we need, they can get for us.
Yep, and as soon as we, once we get up and running, we'll be able to provide all kinds of merchandise, and I think that'll help too. help bring awareness.
Somebody's saying I sent all the money to Rick Wiles. Okay.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was
Okay.
I was thinking Jim Baker and the world's oldest profession.
I bite my tongue. Yeah, we have to have this help. We have to get this done. And I know there are many people listening out there. I mean, I'm looking at your, what do you got, 3,500 some subscribers?
Yeah, we're actually going up kind of nicely. Let me take a peek here.
So if everybody sent in 15 cents, we'd have it.
Currently, we're at 3,541.
Yeah, we'd have it. And if everybody sent in $1, we'd be able to get the rest of the equipment that you need, so we can start getting the T-shirts ready and getting the cups out there and start making a continuous supply of money coming in, so that we can help, because this is not a free thing that we can do. It's going to cost money up front to get it started. But once we get this thing going, and we have a whole day where we can unite all the radio stations and we can get all the people going, I think from there it's going to go. But we got to get started.
Yep.
And nobody seems to be picking it up
and we have to
doing it.
We have to stay focused. We need to have our objective up there, out front, very clear. And
we are the voice of Lavoie Finicum.
Yep.
So I think that's exactly right. Now, I'm going to try to, next week, get everybody back on here, but I have people scheduled, don't I?
I'd have to take a look.
Wednesday night, I thought I scheduled somebody, and I didn't write it down, maybe.
Well, I know Dallas is tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he thought it was tonight. He's probably chomping at the bit.
I showed Jerry Test Australia for Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try and get him in here for Wednesday. Because Sunday is Father's Day. What a sad Father's Day for all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be much of a good one for me either.
This will be the first Father's Day the Finicum kids have without their dad. And I guess they're all going up to Oregon to honor him at the burial site. So I hope nothing happens there. We need your prayers. Cover them in prayers. Because it sounds like they're going to pull little tricks they can to get these people all arrested and get their land.
Yep. It's I mean, and it's clearly what's going on. I mean, has anybody heard anything more on the Hammonds?
The Hammonds are still in jail.
Well,
That's what I was saying a while ago, is that I worry that Mrs. Hammond has not been able to keep up the payments or keep up anything on the farm. She didn't have anybody out there helping her, so that's a worry that I have, and the two Hammonds are still in jail. And this whole thing started out over the Hammonds.
Yep.
And Lavoie died. He died for the Hammonds.
Yep.
That was his whole reason that he went up there. So I was listening to a speech that Jeanette made in Montana, I guess about a week and a half ago or so now. And she had said that when Lavoie heard what had happened with the Hammonds, what was going on, he went over first and he talked to Cliven, and then he was so mad he didn't even stop at home. He went right to Oregon. He had it in his mind that he was going to do what he had to do for the Hammonds to be free. He had no idea that this thing was going to take place at the Malheur, whatever. That just happened that day. And so really the people involved in that, Ammon and I guess that would have been Blaine Cooper and Payne, Ryan Payne and some others, they hadn't shared with the others what was going to happen.
No.
So it was like a last-minute decision that was made. And while we may think it was a bad decision in the beginning, it has ended up to be a blessing to all of us if we will receive the blessing and act on it. But so far we're just looking around and kind of in a daze somewhere and, oh dear, okay, but we're not doing nothing.
Kind of spinning our
wheels. We're not receiving the blessing. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people, myself included, we look at it and I'm still in disbelief, at what just happened, and they're not being taken to task for it at all. I mean, they've got away with cold-blooded murder. They're getting away with theft. And largely... Oh, go ahead.
Nobody's doing nothing. I'm just looking here at what Memento just wrote, and I'm like, shaking my head. You mean so she's going to go up and she'll bring flowers and she'll try to put them on her husband's grave on Sunday with her daughters, and she'll get fined?
Yep, $5,000, yep.
Oh my God, they're going to haul her to jail. These ladies are so brave. Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, I hope they get enough common sense to have somebody there that live streams it.
I mean, they're brazen anymore. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, they were surrounded by people. We played the video last week of the 90-year-old veteran down in Florida that was getting jailed constantly for feeding the homeless. And they're brave. I mean, they're just absolutely brazen. They had a crowd there. They were completely surrounded by a crowd of people, and they still fined the man and took him to jail.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore, I'll tell you. Getting pretty bad. So I would guess that if this is coming so close to Father's Day, then tonight what has happened is they're rousting them. They're trying to keep them scared, causing anything to happen that they... I wish I was out there with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope that they would have the decency to let them mourn, but
there's no decency in these people.
No.
There's only greed and lies and cheating and evilness. I don't know what to think. I wish I could help them, and really I don't even know how to pray anymore. I just think I'm getting it down and then something else comes.
Well, I think...
But see, wouldn't it be just like them to cause another big event to happen so that our attention would go to the big event and we wouldn't pay attention to what was going on under our own noses?
Right.
Yeah, Memento, that's what my friend said that was here from Oregon. She said that the police are really, really bitter. You can't even talk to them.
Wow. Well, I wonder what they're bitter over exactly.
Standing foot, I'm sorry if you did lose anybody in Orlando. I'm not saying anybody wasn't killed. I think there was some targeted. And who knows for what reason. You know, they might have just randomly picked a few but I don't believe that 50 are dead. I don't believe that 53 are injured. And here's the other reason I don't believe that. Rather than to take those 53 that were supposed to be all injured with gunshot wounds and whatever to the hospital, they took most of them to a little clinic down the road. This little clinic is going to pull out bullets? Come on now. And they were interviewing some of the people from that clinic today. And one in particular was 3 bullets in that person. And that person was sitting up. There wasn't a mark on them. They had tape on them like they were running IVs. But let me tell you something. I do IVs all the time. There was no IVs in those arms. There was tape over the line, but none of the things that needed to be there to pump the fluid in, that wasn't there. So half might be truth, or a quarter might be truth, or a tenth might be truth, and the rest is all a lie. And then that causes you to wonder, well, what happened to all them people? I do know that they did a search today. They found out that quite a few of these are from an acting company. And they were crisis actors. So we already know that. Now, which ones were the crisis actors, I don't know. I mean, some of them were kind of obvious, but we didn't get to see all of them anyway. We just got to see a small few of the people, and yeah, until they show us the inside of that building, if you got bullets flying enough to kill 50 people, there must be bullets in every wall in there. And how are they going to fix that all up and open it again? There's got to be a lot of damage in there.
Well, and I thought it was interesting that the media was coming out and just outright saying that there's so much damage they were going to have to demolish the building, but yet the club owner says that they're going to, I guess they're going to, well, he didn't say they're going to rebuild and reopen. The statement was just made they will reopen. So now whether or not it's the same building, that's up for question, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But when I saw that video where they were carrying the supposed injured victims to the building where this all took place instead of away from the building, then I said, what the heck
Yeah,
is this? You know, they know we're on to them. So I believe that when these things take place, there are a few that are targeted. And they use the whole thing to accomplish many things all at once, and only an evil mind could think of all of that. Because what did they get out of this? Look at the blood they got out of this. And excuse me, these dumb sheep will go down and give blood all day until Thursday. Now, here's the other thing. Why did Obama say that we would only fly the flags at half-mast until Thursday the 16th? Why didn't he say Friday or Sunday? Why Thursday? And then when they decided that they wanted to get all the blood from the people all of the United States, they're only going to do it till Thursday the 16th.
Is it? Well, and here's the other thing. Memento caught that Google had a ribbon up. I didn't see that, but I know that YouTube had a ribbon up. Now today, that ribbon was taken down, and now they're advertising for E3, which is like a gaming convention thing. Do you think maybe it's desensitization?
I don't know. They accomplished a lot of different things with this. They're going after the guns. They got the sympathy for the homosexuals. So in other words, by the time I got done seeing all of the pity and the compassion, etc., going on, we now glorified sin. And the Christians were the biggest ones to step forward and do this first. So we feel bad that they're hurt, but now we're glorifying sin. And our compassion is making us do that. That's why God said, set your emotions aside and don't let your emotions make your decisions for you, because your emotions will never make the right decision. But they hit on everybody's emotion and everybody's compassion, and we reacted just like they wanted us to, and we started sending money. Boom. And now we're going to give them our blood, voluntarily, by the way. And in order to give the blood, you got to give your name, got to give your address. Now they got the DNA, and you voluntarily gave it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Did you hear about the ordeal with the Walmart in Texas today?
No.
Oh yeah, there was an active shooter situation. SWAT team took them down though.
Oh, of course.
They, I know at the time I did the report, they mentioned hostages. I don't know if they were actually hostages or what that ended up. But yeah, there was another incident, which is common anytime there's a large shooting. I don't know if it's the incidents are happening more often, or if the media is just pushing it out.
Yeah, I don't know. But here's what I know. We do not have to wait for Carol Bundy. We do not have to wait for Jeanette Finicum or anybody else. We, the people, need to step up to the plate here. Send in your donations. Let's get this PR going, and let's unite all these radio stations, and let's unite the people that are awake at least. Maybe we'll wake a few more up, and let's get going, because if we don't stand up and do something here pretty soon, we're done. And I'm talking soon. According to what Hodges is saying, these guys want to declare martial law in July.
Yep.
It's just right around the corner. Now, I don't know why they're picking July, because but I got a feeling it's got to do with the money, the finances. I think it does, and I don't think they can hold this market. They can't manipulate it much longer, because the price of gold and silver is kind of getting away from them.
Yeah, I noticed that's going up.
Yeah, they're having a hard time with that one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I think we need to be praying for the Finicums and the Bundys and their whole families. And not only them, I believe there's a fellow, I don't remember his name, but his father lost his home and his land and everything to the BLM after they accused him of stealing some little relic, and then his father took his life. His father was a doctor, the only doctor in the area for all those people. So they're not above doing anything. They'll do anything. And they'll accuse you of anything, and you can try to protect yourself till hell freezes over. They're going to find something to get you with. So I think we better be really, really praying for the Finicums on Sunday and the Bundys, that they don't pull some stupid thing that day.
Yeah, when I first heard about this in Orlando, I was stunned.
I
Because,
wasn't. I knew something was coming, but I didn't expect it to be Orlando.
well, yeah, that's what stunned me.
Yeah. But then, after I thought about it, I said, oh, yeah, the homosexuals, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just homosexuals. It was also most of them were Latino.
But that's a homosexual bar.
Well, yeah, but what I'm seeing is all kinds of divides that they're attempting to get. For one, they're trying to once again divide the Muslims. They're trying to divide the homosexuals, and I don't know if the Latino part played anything in it or not, but they're pushing. I think there's like 3 stories going around as to what's happened.
I think we're going to hear a lot more because, God, using God as an example, God never writes a scripture for one reason. It's always many reasons. One scripture can cover many reasons. And the same thing is with Satan. He doesn't do one thing for one reason. He's always got many reasons. And so you have to filter through all of it and be able to think as evil as they think, which is hard. Well, and then you figure out what they're doing.
And that's kind of what I've been doing because, okay, the moments after it happened, the first thing that they were saying is it was not related to religion whatsoever. And I have to agree with that. I don't think it really was. But now they come back and say, okay, so it was. And I think it's a head fake is what it is because Memento brought up a very important thing. This guy is a very clean-shaven guy. He didn't appear. It appears that he was a patron of this club. That he had been in this club many times. It just seems kind of strange. All of a sudden, the story that they put out was that something to do with two gay men kissing or something, and that setting him off in a rage. But
that's a bunch of bunk because his father changed his story the next day.
Yeah.
His father changed his story.
Yep.
And what father just loses his son and then gets on the air the next day and makes his son look horrible?
Yep.
I doubt it's even his father. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I don't know if there's anything real out there anymore other than God. I wish somebody'd show it to me because I'm not seeing it.
I hear you. Memento had posted some stuff for you to see in the chat. You might have to
Gotta get my glasses on.
I know how that is.
How do I get back up there? Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I did hear that about Paris. Well, supposedly these Islamics are going to hit all over the place. Now, if they truly expect the Islamic people to hit us more in the United States, then what the hell is Obama doing? Why is he not rounding them all up? I mean, you had a whole bunch of them out here that were in the desert in Arizona, way up in the mountains there, and I believe it was Dabu 7 that just happened to be up there getting pictures, and they heard all this shooting. So they ran up the hill to see what's going on, and they see about 12 Islamics shooting their guns, just shooting their guns. So they call the police, and the police go up there, and the police check all their backpacks and check all of them, and they let them go. Gave them their guns back, too. Would they give me my guns back? Heck no! They'd give me a ride to jail. See, things are not right here. There's just, things are not right. I did see that on France today. You know, I think Minnesota here where I live, this has got to be one of the highest targeted areas there could be around. We have our, what do they call them? Our oil refineries here. Coke oil refineries. Of course, Coke is funding Islam, so they probably won't hit those. And we have underground missiles in here. So I don't know about those, if they'd hit those or not, but we have so many Islamics living in here. We don't know. We've been talking to each other in this building where we live, and right behind us, they've moved in a whole bunch. We don't know who to trust. We don't know who to talk to. We don't know what's under them burqas. We don't know nothing. Did you ever think that we would come to a time where we had to think this way about anybody?
Well,
I mean, Islamics never bothered me before.
And I think that's part of what they're doing on purpose, though.
Yes.
You know, it's not, you know, it's not that it's a faith of bad people or anything like that, but when we are brainwashed for the last, how many years? I don't know. Yeah, I'm losing track anymore.
I only been back here 7, and they're doing a good job, because I'm thinking, I get in the elevator one day when I was up in Minneapolis, and it was just me and 2 Islamic ladies in burqas, and I'm thinking to myself, wonder what's under them burqas.
Well, they've had 15 years now that they've been, back in the 80s, it was the Russians that were our enemies, and I remember going through school, and that's even how they indoctrinated us in school, that the Russians were bad guys. And, since 2001, it's been, the Muslims are bad guys. And I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I think there's radical ones that we radicalized, we trained, we armed, and we funded.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing that because they're going to sit back, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be an EMP, and I think they're going to turn out the lights and sit back and just let us destroy ourselves.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm seeing in Minnesota. They started to bring them all in, and they brought them up into Minneapolis. And from Minneapolis, they're distributed out. We are not told where or how many. Where they're distributing them out to is all the little small towns. Pretty soon the whole town is filled with Islamics. So, for example, I wanted to go move to this little town. I was looking for an apartment down there, and I find out it's all Islamic. I said, oh, no, go the other way. Now I'm finding out that all the little towns around us, just 12 miles down the road, that's the people in that town, the Americans, are moving out because it's so bad in there. They can't take the attitude of the people is that we owe them. The attitude when they go to school is they won't eat that food. You need to give us something else. They go into the restaurants and they destroy the restaurant. They let their kids destroy the restaurants. And I've seen that myself. And so businesses don't want them, so everybody's moving out of there, and they're going to give it to the Islamics.
Well, you also have to remember what they were told when they brought them into the country. They were told that they were, they deserved all that. And I saw an article, and I'm real careful when I read articles. I make sure that it's not an article that's just written by someone that's angry. And I read an article about how they're not even trying to go after the money for business loans for these immigrants that they brought in. And, I think about that, and it's like, that's not the immigrants failing us. That's our government failing us. And
Yep.
they're doing this on purpose, because now not only have they divided us in class as Americans, but now they brought in immigrants and divided us in that economic class as well.
That's right. And not only that, we're becoming the minority now. The white people are. So it's interesting what they did, even within amongst the poor. The poor people are, wherever I've ever traveled to, even in the United States, the poor people are the first ones to step up to the plate and help with whatever. The people with money, they're usually the last that'll come out of the woodwork and help with anything. So the poor people have always been the big givers, because there's more of us than there ever is going to be rich people in the United States.
Yep.
Now they've got people who were poorer than us coming from a nation where it's said to be that they need so much help and they need to escape the situation or they're going to die there, and they come over here, and when they enter in, they're given $2,000 a month. I've never seen $2,000 a month. They're given $2,000 a month by the welfare system. They're given free medical, free schooling, free education, and that includes college for the college kids. And they're given free housing, and they're given a car.
Yep.
Not me. So what has that done? That brings another division. And the poor people who would usually be the ones that want to help them now feel slighted. And there's another division.
Yep. Yeah, it's a shame. And they've oh my goodness, have they done the division well? I mean, every little thing.
That's why I said only evil entities could think of this. Only evil entities. There's no normal human being that could think of this. But we're not dealing with human beings. We're dealing directly with the demons. Because that's what's in these people. Because they compromised themselves. They opened the doors. And now they serve Satan, and most of them serve Satan in rituals. Which, by the way, are done right under the White House. So, I don't know. I pray all the time that God blows that White House right up and just literally destroys D.C. Not the good people, but the people who are evil. And we start over because, I don't know.
Well, I'd almost lost my mind on two different occasions thinking about all this years ago when I seen it coming, when I first seen it coming, and I realized the extent. And the only thing that I can say to it, because we've got some ugly, ugly, ugly days to come, and the only thing that I can think of it is, in order to fix it, there's a lot that's got to be flushed away.
Yep. And the first thing that has to go is the sin in us.
Yeah.
We're the first ones that have to make the change. And I don't know how many times in the last week or so the scripture comes to me that we can only work out our own salvation. I can't work yours out or anybody else's. I can only work my own out. So it's interesting to me how God brings a young lady here from Oregon, and pretty much all the problems she's having is due to unforgiveness. And so he walks her into my house. We're going to help her out. It's interesting to me how this works, because every single day we have to find at least one person that needs God in whatever form. We have to be there to help them. And I think that God has chosen this radio station to bring us together with the Bundys and the Finicums and anybody else, the Hammonds, anybody else. He's brought them to us for a reason, and we have to take care of them. We have to help, because I know that he depends on that. That's why he brought them to us. So again, I ask, let's bring those donations in. Let's get that PR going. Let's stand up and do what God expects us to do. Help our nation and help these people. And in turn, we're helping ourselves. You know, God says in the Word, you take a step, I'll take a step. He's right there. He's carrying us in the sand. He ain't going to let nothing happen to us unless it's for his reason. If we do get locked up, look for who's around you. Look to the left, look to the right, see who God sent you there for. Get your job done, and he'll get you out.
Well, you know, the interesting thing with what you said is, you know, we all have our different aspects of things and timelines, and it was really, I'll say, interesting how all of this came about, because I'd been doing this show for a year and a half, and just doing 1 hour shows, and for a while it was a bit iffy because of living arrangements for myself, and you know, then everything with me and Jen in a sense worked out. It was in bad circumstances for her, but we got together, and that was what I needed, the calmness that I was needing to be able to start going on and being regular. And I had just started doing that, just got on and started doing the regular shows again, and then Oregon happened. And, you know, all the way up to this time, you know, I think I got up to 320 subscribers. And I'd always said from the beginning that I wasn't about that. That wasn't, you know, I was about truth, not making a name for myself, or, you know, I won't compromise my integrity to gain viewers or anything.
No.
And it just happened, you know. It's kind of like from the old movie, build it and they will come, and that's just what happened. It was strange.
Yeah. That's because if we don't take that first step, God can't, he's got nowhere to go. We have to take the first step. Then he takes the next step. He takes us all the way through.
Yep.
And he never, ever gets me, or anybody, he never gets us part way. He's going to take you all the way through. Even though it may seem like not sometimes. He's going to.
Yeah.
I think just as you know what I'm watching now? I'm watching a new test that's happening, and it's in this building, and it's kind of funny. But people are getting tempted in many different ways here, and they don't understand that Satan he's testing them all. And if he can get them all to fall in one way or another, then he's going to take them all with him. So he uses what is your weakest point. If you're alone and feeling lonesome, he'll send you a man or a woman. If your weak point is money, he'll figure out how to help you out there. You know what I'm saying? He's looking for the weak links.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other day I was in the grocery store, and I knew that this was happening in the building here because I was seeing some of it. So I'm in the grocery store the other day, and this guy comes up to me, and he strikes up a conversation. And just when I know he's going to ask me out, I said, "Well, see ya. Nice to meet ya." I was gone. I'm not even going to put my foot in the door and give a little crack there for Satan. It ain't going to happen.
I was trying to be headstrong, I think, and I'm not saying it was the reason why I gone through what I gone through with the loss of my family, but he definitely needed me to listen to him and not me. And
yeah, we're good about listening to ourselves and saying it's good. I'll tell you that. All of us are good at that. And then we kind of hope he catches up with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part of it, huh?
Yeah, I'm hearing so many Christians say God said this, God said that, God said this. And when I listen to what they say God said every single time so far without fail, it has not lined up with the Word of God. It has lined up with the man, and what man wants. What do you call that?
Not sure the
You're supposed to crucify the flesh. It's lining up with the flesh.
Oh, okay.
And so I thinking to myself, man, you know how many of you are going to be accused of being false prophets? Holy cow.
Yep.
There's a lot of them. And as soon as I see it, Matt, that one's off my list. I don't listen to that one anymore. Because if you falsified God's word once, you'll do it again and again.
Yep. And by the way, Standing Foot, I had to look that up because I thought it was a lot older than that. 1985 is when We Are the World came out.
Oh, yeah, I remember that song. Yeah. Well, it is after 10, so I'm going to let go. Tomorrow night we have Dallas on board with us, and Thursday we'll be taping Oli. We'll be doing a live show with Oli and then replaying it at night because we got to do that during the day.
Okay, I didn't see that. Is that going to be at 10?
10 in the morning we'll do the live show.
Okay.
And with Ole Demigard, now he just got done going to Paris. He went there direct. He has found out truth about that big attack that was over there. So I'm looking forward to hearing all this, because I haven't heard it yet.
Well, and it'd be interesting to hear that and then see how much of it we can, associate with what happened in Orlando.
Yep. Yeah, because everything connects, every dot. So it will be interesting. It was interesting that you brought up Honduras tonight, too.
Yeah?
Because I believe that Honduras is being used like Sweden. Honduras is one of the only, neutral countries in Central America.
Yeah.
And because she's neutral, America's got her hands in there big time right now, trying to force her to be democratic American. And they've now opened up the door, America has done this, to many, many immigrants coming into Honduras from Iran, from Venezuela, from Cuba, all over the place, and they're on their way up these borders. So, yeah, it's a problem. They did catch quite a few of them last week. They were walking the rivers so their footprints wouldn't be seen. Lucky they didn't get killed, because there's big snakes in them rivers. But they were walking the rivers and they were arrested, taken in. It was quite a bunch of them. So whether they will foot the bill and send them back to their countries, I have no way of knowing that, because I don't think they got the money to do that. So therefore, what will they do? They'll jail them. And then their countries will fight to get them out. So we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, I hear you.
And they made quite a few arrests. I would say they made about 30 arrests now within the police department in Honduras. And these were all the corrupt police officers that were helping run the drugs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they want that money pretty bad from Obama. He better have it ready. Because I'll tell you, when I was still in Honduras and I came home for vacation and Bush was president, not Daddy Bush, but the son. And he called down there and he came to visit and he promised them $400 million. But the first thing they had to do was get all the street kids off the street. Well, 152 of those kids I fed every day. And when I went back to Honduras, they'd all been killed. They just picked them kids up, rounded them up in the night when they were all sleeping, took them out and shot them.
Oh, my.
Some of them were only 3, 4, and 5 years old. So these guys are not beyond doing what they have to do to get money from us in these governments.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. There was a program that had actually notified me when I was still in the States, telling me what happened. A program called Casa Alianza, and that's for kids. Yeah, they'll do anything to get their money. I know when I was down there, they had Clark Company. Is it Clark Company that provides all the toilet paper and stuff for restaurants? Is it Clark? No, I think it's something else. Anyway, they donated $400,000 worth of medical supplies and toilet paper and all that junk for the hospitals, and the hospitals never got none of it. Government sold it all.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I couldn't remember.
Kimberly Clark. There it is. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
You guys are good. Keep me up.
Oh, I'll tell you
My
what.
brain is going to sleep.
This audience is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they're good. So yeah, there's a lot of corruption everywhere, and everywhere that the corruption exists, the United States exists. Everywhere. They got their hands in there one way or another.
Well, you know what I'm thankful for?
Uh-huh.
For many, many, many years, the people of this country have gotten to live the lives that they have gotten to live. They were extremely blessed.
Yeah, they were. They were. We just didn't know how blessed because we took advantage.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully things turn around.
Well, what the heck is going on here? They're showing some church on the news here that's all shot up.
Oh, really?
It's a Catholic church. Bullets everywhere, all through the inside.
Huh.
And then it was set on fire. Oh. Didn't hear that. It must have happened after 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Is Todd with us tonight? I haven't seen him for a while. Where is Todd?
He was in earlier.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Are you here, Todd? Speak up. You know anything about what's going on here with that church? Because I've been on here, so I don't know. Kind of interesting, though.
Oh, Senate passes $602 billion NDAA defense bill in defiance of Obama's veto threat.
Jeez. Obama is so mad, he's making statements about his gun control thing. And according to what I'm hearing him say in his statements, he will take this on himself. He is going to find a way to get those guns no matter what. And he said today, too, in one of his speeches that Hillary Clinton is with him. She, too, will fight the good fight.
And I'm looking here at an article from RT, Chaos in the House as Democrats protest Paul Ryan's failure to address Orlando shooting.
I wonder why he isn't addressing it. You suppose he could know a little something?
Ooh, and this might be something interesting. There was an image that disappeared off Facebook of and this is it. Let me get this to you right away. Wow. Okay, so there was this image that Memento brought to our attention yesterday by a Cody Agnew that had posted about, I think it says that they were holding the door shut or something on here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and apparently it sparked so much outrage. What was the title of it? Facebook post claiming Orlando shooter didn't act alone sparks online outrage. Well, that disappeared, and she couldn't find the image. Well, she had it saved, but I mean, online the image just disappeared.
I got it saved too.
Yep. I've got a copy
I'll
of it.
repost tonight. These guys, I tell you, there was a fellow that was he was an eyewitness there, and he was the first one that they did a report on where he was telling them what happened. And he is the first one that said somebody was holding the door shut, and there was somebody inside that was holding people in different areas. And when they just kept making them go back the other direction. And so you have 3 people involved, and as soon as he spoke that, boom, he was taken right off air. And that was not aired, only that live piece, which I downloaded.
Right.
So whether they come in my computer or not, I don't know. But the lies they're astronomical. And that's what makes me the angriest, is that they think we're all so stupid that we don't see. That's what makes me the angriest, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sad because I do believe there were some shot and killed in there. But not all of them, no. Not near the number they say, because how many did you see them carrying out wounded after the police had gone in?
I think I've seen video of 2 people.
I saw 4.
Oh, you saw? Okay.
So that's it. And man, if there was all those 53 people injured, where did they go? Who got them out?
Yeah,
and if there's all them dead bodies in there, why ain't we seeing? Why didn't they flash the cameras in there and let us see them dead bodies laying around? But they didn't. Where's the blood? There isn't. If that much blood had been shed, then people wouldn't open that building again.
Yeah, and that's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see if they reopen it or they tear it down.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just think this was all too close to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And they are making money hand over fist because you people just keep sending in your money.
Yep. Oh,
you don't even know who you're sending it to.
And then I noticed the media was even jumping in on that too, saying, giving everybody the place to send the money. And I assume that it was probably to that GoFundMe account. But
well, sure it was. Yeah. And who's in charge of that? Did anybody check that out?
I have no idea.
Who's in charge of that GoFundMe account? Who gets to take the money out of there?
That I have no idea.
Yeah. Same thing with Sandy Hook. I mean, millions and millions of dollars, and people are still sending Sandy Hook money.
Yep.
And we now know that none of those people got that money. The government got that money.
Yeah, it's nuts, and they're in every way we are funding our own demise. It's unbelievable.
We are. We are. We are. We're paying for it on every level. It's amazing how these evil, twisted minds have gotten us to do this. And gladly so, just like the blood, giving of the blood. I'm like, what? We didn't even have that much blood given to us for Hurricane Mitch, for crying out loud. And we had 11,000 dead and missing where I was at.
Yep. You know, what we need to do as a country is, well, for one, we got to start with food, because that's kind of important.
Yeah.
You know, we need to start organizing the farmers, the retired farmers, and we need to get farmers set up in this country, ready to go to work, and that's the biggest thing. If we can make sure that food is grown and raised and distributed throughout the country, that is the big thing. I'm convinced that we can sidestep the system.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be ugly, because they ain't going to want to let go of that power, but we can do it.
Yeah, we can. Standing Foot, where was your friend at in the building? Or friends, if it's more than one. Where were they at? Were they in the center part? In the bathroom? Where were they? No, Standing Foot, they put an article out this morning, and not an article, an ad. And they were asking that they had such good response for getting blood in Orlando that they now wanted people all over the United States to give blood. That was an ad that went out this morning. So, no. And where were those people at? Were they in the bathroom? Were they, oh, you don't know where they were at. Because here's the other thing I'm thinking. I believe that this guy went in. He had a few targeted. He was told to do just a few. And he got those few. Then you hear a lot of bullets going. And if they had that much damage, there better be a whole room full of bullets, because they had to go somewhere. Number one. Number two, the police went back by the bathrooms and they shot through the walls. And those people that were in there, I believe, will only have police bullets in them. Will we ever know? Will we ever see the autopsies? Will the autopsies be handled by we the people, or will the autopsies be handled by government officials? Like the one in Sandy Hook. See, this is this thing that they can cover up so much in this. It's unbelievable. So I'm not saying nobody was killed. I believe some were. And I think they were targeted individuals for whatever reason. Or they were just told, go in and shoot 5 or 6 and let's get this chaos going. And I don't believe that this guy did the shooting on his own, because he was with the New York PD. And what nobody noticed on the t-shirt that they took the picture of him in is on the t-shirt on the arm it said staff. He was a member of the New York PD. Just like the Boston bombing, those 2 boys were members of the CIA and had been for quite some time. So, not saying nobody was killed. There were some that were killed. And if you believe the cops did what they had to do, no. They could have gone up there Standing Foot with a white van. They could have put that guy down from outside. No problem. They did not have to shoot through those walls. And I'm sure that they knew when they shot through those walls they were going to be shooting people, because they'd all been locked in the bathroom. They were being held in the bathroom. So there were quite a few in there. It was kind of easy to shoot. I know that we all want to believe the best of everything that went on, but you can't anymore, because this is not God at the basis of any of this. This is Satan. You are dealing with that spiritual war. That's the fight we fight now.
I just put on the screen, I just put an article that's on Breitbart, which I don't necessarily always believe something that's on Breitbart, but there has been many times that they've gotten it right. I wouldn't say that they're just a shill site like, so many of them out there. Anyway, I seen this because the Patriot Nurse had made a post on Facebook stating that the country is on the verge of open rebellion, and I think she's 100% correct.
Yeah, she is, and that's what they're stirring up. They want this to happen.
Well, the article's, the title of it is Hillary Clinton received secret memo stating Obama admin support for ISIS. In other words, this is actual evidence of our government supporting ISIS.
Well, we've all known that all this time. We've known that we are paying for ISIS. You think we're going in there and shooting them up? It ain't us, it's the Russians. And you know what? Yesterday, the Russians put out a notice to all of us, the Russians that have been living in the United States for years and don't like what they're seeing. And they told the American people, please listen, Putin is being serious when he says if they continue with what they're doing over there in the Ukraine and in Poland, that he is going to lob a nuclear bomb in here that will destroy America.
Yep.
So the Russians, Minneapolis here is just filled with Russians that have been here for many, many, many years. Well established, they have their churches open, they have their businesses, well established. And they're part of that community that gave that warning last night. Do I believe that Putin is a good man? No. Do I believe he's part of the game? Yes. And they may be at the point now in that game where they will allow him to send that little bomb in. They are saying that we do not have any equipment that can stop a nuclear bomb from hitting us. I don't think that's true, because I'm pretty sure that an EMP could stop it in the air, could blow it up right in the air before it ever hit. And high up, they're taking planes out of the air from down here on the ground, so I don't think they're telling us the truth with that either.
Oh, no.
Part of the game.
Yep.
Part of the game.
For some reason, there is something that's really, really ramping things up. As far as their timeline.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the money. Pretty much everything has to do with the dollar. They're not going to hold it much longer, and as soon as they do, they know we're coming after them banks. We're going to be standing out of the doors, going in. They know. Now, was it last week? Yes, it was last week. What's the name of that one big bank that's in trouble right now? Overseas there.
Oh, gosh. I don't even remember.
Well, I don't remember either, but they just got fined a lot of money, and they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And they are one of the bigger banks that control the other banks around here. It seems to me it starts with a W, but I might be wrong.
Oops. Hang on. I didn't mean to do that.
Did you go away?
Yeah, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing.
Anyway, last week, they made an announcement, and you couldn't get money out of their ATMs anymore. And you couldn't go to the bank and take out more than just a little bit of money
And
every week. I believe it was by the week.
I can't remember. It wasn't Wells Fargo, was it?
No, it's overseas.
Wachovia?
Nope.
No?
Not Wachovia either, no.
Roosevelt guessed that. How about the Deutsche Bank?
Deutsche Bank. Oh, see, there's a W. It's the Deutsche Bank, yeah.
Or Flat got that one.
Yeah. Well, I spelled it with a WD. Okay. Yeah, they already are starting over there, so we got problems. We got big problems coming. And they're trying to make it happen faster here so they can get us in this uprising and they can blame us for the dollar problems instead of we blaming them.
Yep.
Thereby they keep the bankers alive.
Well, some of them.
Some of them. Yeah.
Other ones of them shoot themselves in the head with 14 nails.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh, they think we're so dumb. I can't believe it.
I don't know. Sometimes I have to wonder, am I really, really seeing this stuff? Or it's crazy.
Somebody got Zika from Honduras. I don't know. I lived in there 12 years. I never even heard of Zika when I was there. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's an interesting, that's quite an interesting bug as well, that Zika virus.
Yeah. We got bit by mosquitoes all the time. We got a lot of dengue fever. But no.
Well, like she was saying,
never heard of Zika.
That's a new one.
Yeah, it is. And it's caused by man.
Yep, it's probably the new and improved AIDS.
Yep. Well, even AIDS. Now, there's been a lot of babies born with AIDS, never born with small heads.
Oh, really?
No.
I didn't know that they would be born with small heads.
The Zika babies are born with small heads.
Oh, the Zika. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No, they weaponized these mosquitoes, and if people have been paying attention, it's already been about 3 years ago when I did a report on. In Florida, they were weaponizing the mosquitoes, and they actually had made their own machine-type mosquito.
Yep.
So they could direct the mosquito to go and bite, and when that mosquito bit you, it injected you with whatever they wanted it injected with. So, yeah, I don't know. I would not be afraid to go to Honduras because I never heard of that in 12 years I was there. And if they did weaponize it, they probably only did it in the mountains. So if you're going to San Pedro Sula or those areas, they're spraying left and right down there anyway, which they do every year because of dengue fever. I got dengue fever. I wished I was dead, but I made it through.
I pulled it up on the screen about the mosquitoes, the robot mosquitoes that they have.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, robot mosquitoes, yeah.
I'm waiting for this page to load up. And see, remember, what they're going to show you is way behind of what they have.
Oh, absolutely.
This is
And what they used those robots for was to see, first of all, could they do what they wanted to do? And then they had to figure out how that they could get the regular mosquitoes filled with that venom so that those regular mosquitoes could be let loose. So they fed it to them. And then they send the mosquitoes out. Because those, you know what? I saw the pictures of the mosquito that carries the dengue fever.
Mm-hmm.
I have never yet seen a mosquito that looks like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Not once. Supposedly, we have someone here in Minneapolis that has had a Zika baby. You know what I think causes a lot of the problems in Honduras?
What's that?
It's inbreeding. There is a lot of inbreeding.
I wonder why.
Well, it's the Indians. They're not educated, and they have their own rules back up there in them mountains. Same way in most countries down there. So they don't have to abide by our rules. Can't marry your first cousin, second cousin. They just inbreed. And the incest is horrible down there. But they don't consider it to be a bad thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's where we usually see most of the deformities in Honduras. Nicaragua, Guatemala, El Salvador, all the same. It's from the inbreeding.
Yeah, I'd been scrolling up. There are so many different designs for that mosquito that they have created. It's unbelievable.
Well, Standing Foot, what things do you think are false? I mean, what things are confusing you? Has he put something down there yet?
I don't see anything yet. Up there he goes.
Oh yeah, here it comes. Oh no, you're talking about the inbreeding. Yeah, in all of those countries, except Israel, I don't think is that way anymore. It used to be. I don't know about Palestine, but I know Saudi Arabia is big time inbreeding, and Egypt is inbreeding, and Lebanon is inbreeding. Yeah, that's going on everywhere. So there's a lot of disabled kids born. know one night I was preaching from a podium outside up in the mountains to the Inca Indians, and I didn't know what I was going to preach on, but what they had me start to preach on was I don't know, some scripture out of the Bible, but God took me a different direction, and I found myself talking about incest, and I gave my story and for an example for them, and that night 60 men confessed that they were guilty. 60 men repented.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's just, well, that was pretty much the whole village, really.
Wow, this is an interesting article. Apparently, the Oath Keepers are pledging to fight ISIS in the U.S.
Good. We'll see if it holds.
Well, we'll see how quick they run.
Yeah, that's about right. They ran pretty quick in some other instances, so
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, they do good at fundraisers, though.
Oh yeah.
They're tough, brave men. I mean, I'm not putting down individual, I think there are a lot of great people in Oath Keepers. I really, really do.
Well,
but
I'm an Oath Keeper.
the administration is another thing.
That's right. And so that's kind of where everybody's coming to in the organization, is they understand that you have to keep up the oath that you took. So you have to go around these people and just form your own groups. You're still a part of the Oath Keepers, but
Yep.
when you have an administration that won't stand, you have a problem.
Yeah, and I think that's what the problem is in itself. Is I think the leaders all across the board for all these different organizations, and I don't know if they've been infiltrated. I don't know if they've.
Oh, sure. Of course they have. So has YouTube. It's been infiltrated big time.
Oh, I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm not big enough.
Oh, I missed that conversation. I'm looking at Standyfoot, and he's saying, so they are easy to strap a bomb to something. I don't know what the conversation was up above, so I'll stay out of that one. As for what is real or not on YouTube, how would I know? Pray first, Standyfoot, and then pray after you've seen the video. Let God tell you what's real and what's not real. If you get that little check in your spirit, that's God telling you, that thing ain't real. And it's not truth what you're hearing. I mean, we're in a time now where you have to depend on God for everything. Every little thing in your life. And especially to know when you're being told the truth and not the truth. Because the Holy Spirit can't stand the lie. He's going to put a check in your spirit right away.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. That's the only way I know to do it.
And that's the only thing that makes sense as to how different individuals that have been a part of the Watchman News in one way or another just would totally, you would see an absolute 180-degree turn.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. I think that we were keeping the Holy Spirit here, and it was driving them away. They couldn't stand it.
Yeah, well, goodbye.
That's
because I don't want to do nothing without the Holy Spirit. There's no way we're going to make it through any of this.
Oh, no.
With eyes to see or ears to hear, if we're not listening for the voice of God or the Comforter He sent us.
Yep. Yep.
So, that's where we're at.
I see an image on Facebook that says I don't have all, not even some of my ducks in a row, but at least they're all in the same pond. So I have that going for me, which is cool.
I know the feeling. Yeah, I couldn't even look at videos today. When I opened the 5th one and it was all about Orlando, and I said, what the heck are they hiding? They're hiding something. But I don't have time today. I got to talk to this lady. So I didn't even get on the internet today until shortly before the show, and I opened up that one video I sent you. I can't stand it. I'm getting to the point where I can't stand it anymore again. And so I might just take a couple days and not look at it at all and let the Lord show me what's going on, because they're getting so tricky and they're trying to suck us into some little trap here.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly what the trap is all about yet, but I'll be praying on it. I'll get it figured out. God will tell me. Because I think we got to watch our backs. You need to prepare. Get your food ready, get your water, get your medical supplies. Get ready.
Yep.
Keep on hand lots of alcohol and peroxide. Keep on hand some brandy and some whiskey for anesthesia if you need it. Get some scalpels. You might have to learn to do these things. Get a stitching kit so you can do stitches if you have to. Get ready.
Yep.
I'm even learning how to pull teeth.
Yikes.
Yeah, because they won't have people to help you during that time, so you have to do it. Of course, I learned a lot of that in the prison down in Honduras, but now I got to get the tools, which I should be ordering if we, God willing, get a check next month. Then I'll order some of those dental tools, and I should be ready to go.
Yeah, it's crazy. I spent good part of maybe 5 or 6 years just trying to dissect every part of what would happen in a grid down situation, and it's mind blowing. It really is, and it's going to be rough.
Yeah. Roosevelt, that was a good thing you just did to ask that question, because I think that this should be happening, that we should find where each other are, what areas we're in, and we should get in with like-minded people. Absolutely. Yep. See, what was the date that Carol Bundy said they were going to D.C.? Was that the 19th? No. Is the 21st, 24th. 24, 25, and 26. That's what it is.
For what's that?
The Bundy family and the Finicum family and all the families of the people who are jailed are heading to D.C. For a protest. And that's where I was really afraid they're going to set them up down there. So I called a friend and asked him if he could talk to his biker friends and see if they won't go down there. And these are women and children going in there. They need protection.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if a bunch of them bikers surround them, the others will think twice.
Yeah. I don't know. This is all. You mentioned bikers, and that made me think back, a year or two ago with the bikers. Wasn't that down in Texas?
Yeah, that shootout. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody.
That there again was another staged event. The police already, before the bikers even started anything, they already had snipers on the roofs across the way.
Mm-hmm.
They'd already cleared out everybody from the parking lot in the building across the way before things started with the bikers.
Yep. And I heard there was people that were just trying to get up and get out of there, and they were gunning them down. The police were just gunning everybody down.
That's right. Then they blame the bikers.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm real surprised them bikers didn't retaliate, but they didn't.
Yet.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that have had enough in this country.
I've been hearing it all day.
Yeah.
Everybody that has been talking to me today said, I've had enough. This is it. I'm putting up with this crap no more. I agree. It's time.
I played 2 videos earlier because we had somebody that was very strongly anti-gun. And, you know, my deal to them, and I don't have a dog in this fight because I don't have any guns, but I told them, if you want the guns, then go get them. Go to your nearest pro-gun owner and take his gun. Stop expecting the big, bad, mean government with guns to take them for you. You know, and I played 2 videos. One of them was from a gentleman by the name of Reed Hendricks. Very good man. And this, by the way, these 2 videos were before this happened in Orlando. They were both in response to the bill that California passed about the concealed carry. And I've never seen Reed Hendricks ever lose his cool. He's always been just calm, just a pleasant guy. And I mean, he even cussed, and I've never even heard him do that before.
I know how he feels.
You know, I mean, Southern Prepper 1, I don't know if you know that name or not, but...
Yeah, I saw his video the other night, and I said, no, see, you even got this one riled up.
Yep, and that was the other one I played, yeah. And I mean, these guys are calm, you know, compassionate men.
Yep.
I'm interested in seeing, you know, the coming days and see if there's any executive orders that just pop up.
Oh, I believe he's going to do it. He's going to pop off an executive order for these guns shortly. And he's going to make a big fight out of it with the Congress, because the Congress is not going to go along with his garbage. They're trying to go against him now. So maybe they have a conscience, see? And maybe all this culling is really going to pay off. When they see that their jobs are on the line and that the U.S. people are not going to take it anymore. And we're just letting them know we're coming by making all these calls.
Yep.
As the voice of Lavoie. Don't have to give your real name or nothing, just give them your real thoughts on the subjects. I'll be looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
One of my friends just popped down here from Greece, so I was going to see if I could get him to come on, but he must be working.
Yeah,
It would be nice to have first-hand information what's going on over there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean,
I have a lady from Germany I'm going to be bringing on, a good friend of mine.
That's the other thing we need to do. We need to start communicating with our friends abroad.
Yep.
And I think that it would be wise. I know I've said it before. I've heard you say it before. We've really got to get people on shortwave radio.
Oh, yeah. I got to figure out, I want to get one of those wind-up flashlights with shortwave radio actually on it. And your band system is on it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a wind-up flashlight and a wind-up radio, you don't need to worry about electricity.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I'm looking for.
I've got this little 28-watt solar panel, and now and I took it out the other day, and it had pretty direct sun, and I had plugged in my Nightcore charger to it, which this is odd enough. My Nightcore charger is only 2 bays. It can only charge 2 batteries at a time. I plug it into the solar panel, and the solar panel just can't quite do it. And the odd thing is I had bought some. They charge 4 of the 18650 batteries. They're really cool little power packs. You can use them as a backup power pack, or you can charge the batteries in it. And I got them because I had ordered one and I liked it. Evil that comes to the chat, that's a moderator in our chat. He's the one that told me about them. So I bought one, checked it out for myself. It seems to be a pretty good unit, so I bought some. They're actually up on eBay now. But I can charge it with my 28 watt solar panel, no problem. It's just strange. I can charge 4 batteries at once, no problem, but not 2.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, because I'm in the basement apartment, so my windows are more than sufficient to get through. And I'm trying to figure out what I can hook up to them windows that will give a little charge when they try to come through.
Yeah.
That doesn't need electricity.
What do you mean? Like something like a stun gun?
Yeah, I'm getting one of those too. I asked the other night what wattage, and somebody told me get 1,000 watt. Okay.
Oh no, you want not 1,000 watt. You want like 400,000 watt. I want to say.
They make them that big?
Oh yeah, that's not the biggest.
Wow. What's the wattage the police are using that are killing these kids?
They might be using the 400,000. I'm looking it up for you now. See, I don't know what the laws are there, but here you can have a stun gun. Okay, here's one 20 million volts.
Oh my goodness! Well, I could knock him up for surgery with that, couldn't I?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Here, I'll send you over a website. And the good thing is when I do this stuff, when I go online shopping, I will find a product I like, and then I'll find the cheapest place that has it.
Yeah.
But if I get my windows right here, and don't click the wrong buttons this time, that's just one that I brought up. They've got like 1 million volt stun guns for like $43.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, and they get bigger and better. But like where I live, we can't have those. So there's a limit.
I don't imagine you can have them anywhere, really, but who cares?
You can most places.
You know, here's what's going to happen. As soon as we are in an uprising position like that, where they've got us ready to fight, and the rule of law is down the drain now anyway. So all bets are off, because you got to protect yourself no matter what. I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Well, standing foot, I didn't even know you used those words.
Yeah, stun guns are a good idea. The important thing is, and this is important for people to do now, is you need a way to recharge batteries. So whether it's...
Yeah, how would I do that?
Well, I mean, either a little solar panel or some of those wind-up device. They make wind-up devices for charging batteries.
Oh.
There's actually several different things that's being done in third world countries that are amazing. There's one gentleman that had designed, and it's a real simple design. It's just a little electric motor like that you would see in a child's toy car, and it's a device with gears and a weight. It works a lot like the old cuckoo clocks worked. And so you just pull the string one way, and the weight of the weight pulls the string the other way. And while it does that, it either charges a battery or keeps a light going on. There's all kinds of ways to generate power.
Something's just occurring to me. Do you think that they are threatening the Monday ladies and the Finicum ladies just so that the guys in jail will be so scared for them that they will say, just give them the property?
Oh, it's possible.
Wow.
I mean, I think this plan goes far more sinister than what our minds can think.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Well, I'm fading out here, so I will see you guys tomorrow night with Dallas. And him I know is going to be here. I'm going to check tomorrow with Carol and Jeanette and see how they're doing.
Okay. Yeah, let me know how they're doing.
Yeah. I will do that. And we will see you tomorrow night.
Okay, we'll talk to you then.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.